everybody. It has been quite the intense week, both just in life and astrologically. But yeah, I still haven't worked out the live thing yet. I need to. I'm a little bit preoccupied at the moment, I'm afraid. But I wanted to jump into a topic today, which is actually, for some reason, I don't really even know why, but this topic is very, very close to my heart, and it's the topic of what in ancient astrology we call the Almuten. I believe the Latin is something like Ecodespotis. Actually, hold on. I'm not sure if that's true. Ecodespotis is the guardian angel, but this is the Almuten, which is something else. Kyrios. Anyway, the point is, Almuten. What is Almuten? Almuten is Latin and it means the king or the lord. Ego, the I. Ego, myself. This is the planet that rules the chart, and I like to say this is more than a planet. This is the deity, because a planet is associated with several different deities, and of course has aspects. It's in a certain sign, in a certain house, so it's more and gets more and more complicated. Oh man, I had a really long chat with one of my good friends this morning, looking at the ancient systems. My goodness. I'll talk about why I'm wearing this too. But the Almuten, it's very, very interesting because of how I put a post up on my Instagram page, which shows, I might put it up on our the Divinely Loved page as well, so you can check that out on Instagram at Divinely Loved Tarot, I think it is. And there's also, of course, now that I mentioned that, there are links and things in the description as well to look at our services, which is a lot of very interesting stuff. And basically the Almuten, it's very, it's quite advanced astrology. It's a lot of technicalities. There's a lot of calculating, a lot of different points that you have to find, and kind of your own intuition a bit as well. And it's the Lord, basically. It's the king of your chart. And knowing that, yes, it is a long calculation, but I have a software that does it. So knowing your Almuten, it actually gives you like another sun sign, almost. It's actually more than that. Knowing your Almuten will tell you more about yourself than your sun sign. Way more. Way more. And so we can have a little brief look at each one, I think, in this video, what each one means. I mean, of course, I won't do, if I did each one, we'd be here, there'd be 28, so probably more than 28 as well. So we'll just do 7 for each of the 7 planets, including the sun and the moon, or the 5 planets and the sun and the moon. And basically the Almuten, it shows your character, it shows you, who you are, ego, I, your character, your fate, what you're going to become, what's your destiny in this life. And it shows the God that you are related to most strongly, the deity that Plato talks about. Each of our souls came down into the earth from the parade of a certain god, of a certain deity, one of 12. And I think that I'm not 100% sure why he says 12. I mean, obviously it's the signs of the zodiac, but I think there's more depth to it than that. And basically he also says that you can, on self-reflection, you can see which deity did you come from. You can know in your heart who you're related to. And my theory is that the Almuten can also show you this as well, some clues. So for me, and the reason I say that is because when I read Plato, he describes some of the gods, and I at the time knew my chart, and I'm a Leo rising, so I knew my chart was ruled by the sun. So I thought, okay, well, technically ruled by, this is the very simplistic, basic astrology, which is not what we're doing here. Yes, the ruler of the first house is important, of the ascendant, but it's nowhere near as important as a lot of other points. So I was thinking to myself, well, I'm Apollo then. Apollo is the sun, or Helios, the sun. So I have to be that. And something in my heart was just telling me, no, that's not correct. And I had no way of reconciling this astrologically or in any other way. And I read the one about Zeus, that Plato writes about what the people who came from Zeus are like. And I thought, man, that's very, very accurate. Like, that's me. That's the way that, it just is me. But what is Zeus? Zeus is Jupiter. As I thought back then, I have a very little Jupiter energy in my chart. It's a nice Jupiter. I have a good Jupiter. It's not too bad. But it's not strong. I'm not like Sagittarius. I'm not Pisces. I'm not Jupiter on the ascendant. Nothing like that. So I just thought, whatever. Put it out. Who cares? Then I came back to this and read it again this year after studying ancient astrology, knowing that my Almuten is Zeus. And had this reflection again and realized I was correct. There was this niggling in my heart that was telling me, yeah, it's Zeus, it's Zeus, it's Zeus, it's Zeus. What exactly that means is up for interpretation, right? Like, it's not like oh yes, I know I'm from Zeus and this is a little bit, but it's just something else. It's another mystery, a personal mystery for us to be contemplating and reflecting on more deeply. These things are not supposed to be revealed to us all at once. And so, so Zeus, and I found this out through the Almuten. I had to know my Almuten first. So this is very interesting. So the God that we come from, and what Plato says about this is that we are exactly like that God. We take the characteristics, or not that we are, but we strive to be exactly like that God. Especially, he says, most especially when we fall in love with somebody. We try to embody this God as much as possible. So Zeus, Jupiter, is generosity, it's optimism, it's expansion, it's spirituality, wisdom, right? When I'm falling in love, it's very, very spiritual. For everybody, I suppose it is, but there's this wisdom that comes through me at the same time, and the spirituality of things, and the generosity, and the magnanimity, and the accommodation. Jupiter is all those virtues of giving the love, the mercy, forgiveness. It's very, very interesting. So I am a miniature Zeus, basically. A mini Zeus. Julian is a mini Zeus. What are the qualities of Zeus? Wisdom, leadership, the mercy as well. Being forgiving, tolerant, holding space for people who are not so easy to hold space for. The charity, and it's also positivity, optimism. People love Jupiters because they're so optimistic, they're so positive. They bring an energy, a very positive energy into the room. Part of that is my Leo rising, but that also ties into the Jupiter Almuten. In fact, I would say the Jupiter Almuten even plays a bigger role in this, actually, because the Almuten not only shows my character, but also my fate. That bird is really loud. Sorry, distracted easily. So it shows not only my characteristics, who I am, but also what I will gain in this life. So Jupiter is the rewards, karmic rewards. It's the gifts, it's ease, it's flow, it's wisdom as well, spirituality, a high spiritual, it's honor for your spiritual merits, basically. Popularity for your spirituality. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. So Jupiter Almuten, it's lucky. It's a karmic reward, basically, to have a Jupiter Almuten. Positive, optimistic. This is just the general. There are other forms of Jupiter. So he can also appear as Hera, and perhaps and he can appear as Hera and Poseidon. So these three are the possibilities with a Jupiter Almuten. The moon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 possibilities. Anyway, sorry, that's besides the point. So Jupiter, it's the good luck. Overall, life is a karmic reward. There's always challenges, but it's a positive lifetime. Somebody who inspires others, somebody who leads with wisdom, somebody who has high spiritual, not necessarily spiritual accomplishments inherently, it can be, but it's more that people see you as a good person for your morality, for your ethics, and they celebrate you for that. So that's Jupiter, and that's me. I know that one very well. And yeah, so little note about the god thing. So it can serve as this. The Almuten can also serve as this mystical link between you and your heavenly source, your heavenly root, your roots in heaven. And that can really, I think, especially the purpose of the astrology that I do and the readings that I give is to reconnect you to your higher self, to your spiritual purpose. And that's what the Almuten really, really, really does. It reconnects you to who you were before you were born, and what are your skills in this life. Even is another thing. And then we can also look at the placement of the Almuten. So my Jupiter is in the decan of Cupid, love. So spiritual love. I run a group here in Brisbane, my city, where the topic that I love to talk about most of all is the spiritualizing love, which is something that no one talks about these days. No one even understands it. I'm going to get real fiery if I talk too much about it, but go and read Plato's Phaedrus, Phaedrus. Phaedrus, he talks about platonic, divine platonic love. Platonic is not mental. It's not about this no-touch thing. I mean, that can be part of it. Or it should at least be part of it for a good amount of time. But it's about understanding heaven through the experience of love. What else? So you can see a lot from this thing. It's in the 9th house. It's overseas. It's anyway. This is my chart. I'm telling you all my secrets right now. So what about the other Almuten? So we've started with Jupiter. Let's go one step backwards. Saturn. People with a Saturn Almuten. This is a more tough. This is a lifetime. These people, they have a positive Saturn Almuten will have very strong boundaries. They're very reliable. They're very practical. They're very down to earth. Everything needs to be done properly and correctly, and very, 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 very. What's the word? Realistically, very grounded in reality. There's none of this big overly optimistic things. It's like, okay, well, this, they have this attitude of like, okay, it's going to be tough, so let's work out all the details, and move forwards from there. And yeah, the more difficult Saturn Almutens, and all of them will struggle with this. It's fear. Saturn is fear. They struggle with being afraid of others. Fear of intimacy as well is a big theme. Fear of it's also about looking at other people with a bit of suspicion always. Being a bit suspicious about what do people want. Why are people like? Why are they treating me like this? Something like that. There's this sense of not trusting people fully, being afraid that they're going to take something from you. And it's also about control, trying to control everything. Saturn is the power hungry. And it's not power hungry out of necessarily greed, it can be, but it's more power hungry in the sense that like there's fear, and so to try and control or avoid the fear, you try and control everything that happens. You try and micromanage things. That is the challenge to be overcome. It can be a very good Almuten because Saturn is also high achievements and highest goals, but with the responsibility at the end, heavy responsibilities of those high achievements. In Babylon, Saturn took the form of, we'll talk today primarily two deities. One was the chaos bird, the storm bird, who wanted to destroy all creation and seize the power of the gods. The other one was a hero deity who killed that storm bird. So Saturn can be very, very heroic. It can be the savior. but it can also be very destructive. So it's about which one. In a day chart, Saturn is much nicer. Okay. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Almuten. These are the rebels. Mars is one of my Almutens, actually. It's a minor Almuten for me. Mars is about rebellion, independence. It's about going against the norm, going against the system, changing the status quo, because the status quo is not correct. It's not the way that things, it's not the truth, and it never will be, because this world doesn't have the truth. And Mars is about the changing of this world. It's about building things yourself, fighting for your own thing. A Mars Almuten person will have to have their own business. They can't work for somebody else generally, or if they do, they'll feel very uncomfortable, because they're not meant to do that. It's not their purpose in this life. Their purpose in this life is to build something themselves, to be independent, to be a rebel, to share their own powerful, unique message that empowers others. Mars is the place of feeling disempowered, and also where you regain your power, where you regain your sense of control of self. The problem for Mars people that they have to face in this lifetime is anger. They have to overcome their rage, their anger. If anger gets the better of them, they can lose a lot, lose everything even. But there's lessons around anger in the lifetime, for sure, for Mars people. The next is the Sun. I've only ever met one genuine Sun Almuten, and these people are very, very powerful characters. You can see the light in their eyes. They're inspirational. They're leaders. The Sun is another one of the karmic gift Almutens. Sun and Jupiter, I would say, are the most powerful. In that sense, the positive, the high social status sort of thing. Easy as well. Good luck. It's like the nobility who they get it. Almost not without struggle, but without being really bogged down by things. Saturn Almuten can get high, but it bogs itself down with a lot of work. Whereas Jupiter and the Sun and the Moon as well. Jupiter, the Sun, and a good moon. A bad moon can be very tough, but a good moon can be very good. A good moon can be more powerful than a Sun Almuten. So, Sun, it's the inspiration, the leader, the hero who wants to change the world kind of thing. This is actually the king as well. The Sun is the king. So this is somebody, you can see it, like I said, the light in their eyes. This guy that I know, Sun Almuten, he's just so driven and focused, and all you talk to him, and there's like this, you just feel this inspiration, and like, I want to join you in that fight. It's powerful. These people are born leaders. They're born to lead. They're born to shine, to share their message with the entire world, actually. And they're born, that thing about being born to lead, truly born to show others their own light, born to bring the light out of others. Very powerful Almuten, very hard, very rare as well, actually, in my experience. Sun, now we come to Venus. Venus Almuten, so this is the pretty lady at the bar who has never paid for a drink in her life because she's always having them paid for her by guys who she's never going to be with. Or maybe she will, but she won't give them very much. Venus is one of the Venuses is Aphrodite. The other is Athena, and actually these are very different. Very, very different, but the similarity is that they're building relationships. Their gift is their ability to work with people. The Aphrodite attracts people magnetically. The Athena goes out and build and gets them in a masculine way, proactively. Less magnetic, but more about a little bit about inspiration as well, actually, and bringing even courage to people in a way. I know quite a few of these Athena Almutens, and they're it's an interesting little thing there. They're very they're enchanting, but not in a feminine way. They're enchanting in a kind of like, wow, how are you, like, they're all of the ones that I've met, they're all women. And actually I've met one guy. Does he? Yeah, he has Athena. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and he's the same, actually. where I'm sure I've met more than one guy, but one that's in my mind right now. And it's always this thing of they're very social, very able to connect with people, very able to see and appreciate. That's really it, appreciating others. The Aphrodite, the evening star, Venus, she is magnetic. People are just like, whoa, who are you? Can I work with you? Can I buy you a car? You know, whatever it may be. It's that theme of people just loving you for weird. You're like, I don't know why. But the Athena is more about going out and making it happen, building the relationships. But it's still relationships. It's still people. It's still about others and the way others see you, but others seeing you approach them and responding positively to your approaches. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, it's true. So Venus, that's also a good karma one, but it's about being very beautiful, you know, being very graceful, very even artistic, very harmonizing, a very harmonizing presence. That's another thing that they do. They can harmonize groups and harmonize people, harmonize relationships very, very well. That's their gift. That's what they're here to share. And next down we have Mercury. Main thing about Mercury, very rare to have a Mercury almaton. Only 1 in 7 people has the possibility of a Mercury almaton. Even less will actually have it. So Mercury and the Sun are the least common. I've seen a few moons, but yeah, Mercury and the Sun. And the thing with the Mercury almaton is their struggle is in picking a direction. Mercury is the what's that thing? The chameleon. So it can take on the role of any of the other gods. So they can do everything. Whatever you set a Mercury person to do, they can do it great. The problem for them is choosing one thing and excelling at it and being, making a career out of that, basically. Making something out of that. Of course, they're very talkative. They're very, very intelligent. Very, how else? They're very, able to communicate. Of course, obviously, they're communicators. And they can seriously do whatever they want. Probably would make good actors as well, actually, Mercury almaton. Yeah. It's an interesting one, that one. It's very deep, and of course there's more behind all of these, but I don't want to use up a huge amount of time. I also have to leave in 5 minutes to study some Greek. Got to start translating those ancient texts. So Mercury, and the last one, the Moon. So the Moon almaton, this is an interesting one. A weak moon. If someone is a Moon almaton and they have a weak moon, this is the sort of classical moon. It's weak. It's effeminate. Well, not classical in traditional, but sort of modern concept of the moon, which is that it's emotional and it's easily manipulated, and that it doesn't have a direction in life, and it's very soft and too empathetic with people, and gives up a lot of its energy. Certainly, in fact, I've seen Moon almaton, a difficult Moon almaton. They struggle with addictions, actually. They can struggle with addictions. They can, definitely. They can, that's so interesting. They can struggle with being easily influenced by other people, easily led astray, easily kind of manipulated. Very easy to manipulate. And actually, I've seen that a few times. And a good moon almaton. These people, they are like lions. So says my teacher, stronger than the sun. They can really. They're always with the moon. It's psychological. They're very good at reading people, reading energy, feeling a room. They're very good social workers. Very good at. Very good therapists, very good social workers and therapists and carers, basically, because Moon is the caring. But a good strong moon, if you say full moon Almuten in Cancer or in Taurus, that's a very positive sign. This is phew, that would be stronger than the sun, no doubt. These are people who will lead really, powerful success. They have all the success. They will overcome all their challenges in their life. They will, become like leaders as well. It's very much like the Sun Almuten, actually, but even better. I need to find some more words to describe that one, but it's a good one. It's a very good one to have a moon Almuten, a strong moon Almuten. So, anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm really, really tired. I hope to see you guys soon, and hopefully this live thing can start working. And remember, don't forget to check out the links in the description. There's plenty of interesting things to discover on our website. And you can book a reading with me there as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and call it a day there. I hope you enjoyed Almutens. Peace.